So we want to talk about macromolecules. Of course, this is organic chemistry, right? So what are macromolecules? So first things first, it's very important that you get to know that macromolecules are also known as polymers. Macromolecules are also known as polymers. So how do we define a polymer or a macromolecule? So macromolecules are simply just giant structures that are formed when small units or small molecules known as monomers join together. Okay? So I'm saying these are giant structures. They are giant structures that are formed after small molecules called monomers join. Okay, so when these small molecules known as monomers join together, they form what we call polymers or macromolecules. So one thing you should know is that these macromolecules are formed by a process known as polymerization. They are formed by a process known as polymerization. So what is polymerization? Polymerization is the joining of small units called monomers to form macromolecules or polymers. So we are saying it is the joining of small molecules called monomers to form polymers. That is what we call polymerization. It is the joining of small molecules called monomers to form what we call polymers. Remember, polymers are just giant structures that are formed when these monomers join together. Now, what you should know is that we have got types of macromolecules. We've got types of macromolecules. So, what are the types of macromolecules that we have? Types of macromolecules or types of polymers. Types of polymers or types of macromolecules. So number one, we have what we call synthetic. We have synthetic polymers or synthetic macromolecules. We also have what we call natural polymers. Now, synthetic polymers are also known as artificial. They are also known as artificial. All right? So let's talk about synthetic polymers. Synthetic or artificial polymers. What are synthetic polymers? What comes to your mind when you hear the word artificial? Now, synthetic polymers or artificial polymers are man-made. They are said to be man-made polymers. So synthetic polymers are man-made polymers. So these artificial, or rather these man-made polymers, are divided into two. They are divided into two. So we're saying types of synthetic polymers. Synthetic polymers, we've said that they are divided into two. They are divided into two. Number one, we have what we call addition polymers. All right? Addition polymers, they fall under synthetic polymers. Don't forget, we're talking about synthetic polymers. Synthetic polymers, we are saying that these guys are divided into two. Number one, we have what we call addition polymers. We have addition polymers, number one. Number two, we have what we call condensation polymers. Condensation polymers. So don't forget, types of macromolecules are two. We have synthetic, also known as artificial. We also have natural polymers. Alright? Now, under synthetic or artificial, they are divided into two. Alright, we've got addition polymers and condensation polymers. So these two fall under synthetic polymers. So let's first of all start by looking at addition polymers. What are addition polymers? Now, addition polymers, what you should know is that they are polymers whose monomers are unsaturated. Okay? These are polymers whose monomers are unsaturated. Whose monomers are unsaturated. Now remember, if we are talking about unsaturated molecules or unsaturated compounds, we are talking about the alkenes. So in other words, the alkenes are the monomers of these addition polymers. Alright? Remember, when you discussed the alkenes, you said that the alkenes are able to undergo addition reactions, right? Yeah. So what you should know is that these addition polymers, they are formed by a process known as addition polymerization. They are formed by a process known as addition polymerization. So this is the process by which addition polymers are formed. Addition polymerization. So addition polymers have got the same empirical formula as their monomers. So let's talk about examples of addition polymers. Examples of addition polymers. What are some of the examples of addition polymers that you know? So I'm saying examples of addition polymers. Examples of addition polymers. Number one, we can talk about something called polyethylene. Polyethylene. Polyethylene is an example of an addition polymer. What is the monomer for polyethylene? What is the monomer? Remember, when we are talking about the monomer, we are talking about what are those small molecules that you are joining together to form polyethylene. Okay? So, poly means many. And so to form polyethylene, you are joining many ethene molecules. Therefore, the monomer for polyethylene is ethene. Remember, ethene is an alkene. It is unsaturated. So the monomer for polyethylene is ethene. Meaning that we are getting a lot of these ethene molecules, joining them together to form this macromolecule here, which is polyethylene. So how is it formed? Remember, the structure of ethene is like this. This is the structure of ethene. This is an alkene. So when we join a lot of these ethene molecules, so we're saying plus so on. When we join a lot of them, what are we forming? The double bonds break, and so we form something like this. We form something like this. This is what is formed. This is what is formed. So this compound here that I've drawn here, this is polyethylene. This is polyethylene. So in the exam, they ask you to name this compound here. You are going to say the name of this compound is polyethylene. Alright? But then take note, if we had a hydrogen there and also a hydrogen there. You cannot say this is polyethylene because it gets to be an alkane. It becomes butane, all right? But then because there are no hydrogens there at those ends, then it continues, the chain continues. So it's actually a macromolecule or a polymer. And so this is polyethylene. So in the exam, they ask you to name the compound. You are going to say the compound is polyethylene, all right? The compound is what? Polyethylene. What is the name of the monomer? The name of the monomer is ethene. By what process is this polymer formed? Condensation, polymerization. Excuse me, addition, polymerization. We are looking at addition polymers. So addition, polymerization. What are the uses of polyethylene? What are the uses of polyethylene? What are the uses of polyethylene? Number one, polyethylene is used, it is used to make plastic. Another one, you can say it is used to make squeezing bottles. Polyethylene is also used to make what? Squeezing bottles. Now, what if we have something like this? Let's say we have this compound here. Let's say we have this compound here. All right. Now, the first question is asking us to name the compound. We want to name the compound. How do we name this compound? So, this is not the structure of polyethylene. It's not. We have that CH3, CH3, CH3. This is not polyethylene. Polyethylene only has carbons and hydrogens all the way. All right? So, here, to name this compound, we are going to look at one repeating unit. Where is the repeating unit? Here, from there to there, that is one repeating unit. Again, from there to there, that is another repeating unit. I'm sure you can tell that these two guys are the same. You keep on having that thing repeating itself throughout. So this is what we call a repeating unit. We call this a repeating unit. This unit keeps on repeating itself throughout the compound. So, for us to name this compound, let's consider looking at the repeating unit that we have. So a repeating unit looks like this. A repeating unit of this compound looks like this. So this is a repeating unit. How do we name this compound from this repeating unit? All we are going to do here is that we're just going to count the number of carbons that we have. So how many carbons do we have? 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 carbons. Because we've got 3 carbons, remember, number 1 is meth, number 2 is eth, number 3 is prop, number 4 is but, number 5 is pent, and so on. So because we've got 1, 2, 3 carbons, okay, it means that the monomer of this compound is propene. It means that the monomer is propene. Remember, the monomers of these addition polymers are alkenes. So because we've got 3 carbons, then the monomer is propene, because number 3 is on, prop is on number 3. So propene. Because the monomer is propene, then the name of this compound is what? Polypropene. Polypropene. So polypropene is the name of this compound right here. Let's say the next question was asking us to name the monomer. Name the monomer. We've said that the monomer of this compound is propene. This is the name of the monomer, propene, because the name of this compound is polypropene. So the monomer is propene. All right? Draw the structure of the monomer. Draw the structure of the monomer. Draw the structure of the monomer. How do we draw the structure of the monomer? So, you've done alkenes, and now because you know that the name of the monomer is propene, what most of you would draw is this structure of propene. Now it is true, this is the structure of propene. This is indeed the structure of propene that you learned at school. But then as a monomer, if you give this answer, then that answer will be wrong. So if you want to draw the structure of the monomer, you look at one repeating unit. One repeating unit looks like this. One repeating unit looks like this. So to draw the monomer, you look at one repeating unit, you get rid of those bonds there, and then you just put a double bond there. And so this is the structure of the monomer. This is propene as a monomer, meaning that you are adding a lot of molecules that look like this in structure to form this whole compound there. Alright? You're joining many of them, many of similar ones like this. When you join a lot of them that looks like this, only then are you going to form that structure that looks like that. By what process is this polymer formed? Addition polymerization, because it is an addition polymer, right? So let's look at this one here. All right. The first question, name the polymer. Number 2, I want you to give me the name of the monomer. And then we also want to know the structure of the monomer. What is the structure of the monomer? And then also, how many repeating units can you see here? Repeating units. So name the polymer, name the monomer, draw the structure of the monomer. How many repeating units are in this compound right here? Okay. So that is the compound. So how do we name this compound here? How do we name this polymer here? So to name the polymer, we look at one repeating unit. Where is the repeating unit? The repeating unit. So we start from there, and then we are going to end from where? We'll end from there, right? This is one repeating unit. As you can see, there's a CH3, CH3. This is also another repeating unit here. CH3, CH3. This is also another repeating unit there. CH3, CH3. So to name this compound, we look at one repeating unit. So this is one repeating unit. Now, how many carbons are you able to see in this repeating unit? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 carbons in this repeating unit. Now, from what I wrote for you here, 4 is bute. So there are 4 carbon atoms, meaning that the monomer is butene. The monomer is butene, and so the name of this polymer is going to be polybutene. So the name of the polymer will be polybutene. Polybutene will be the name of the polymer. The name of the monomer, we've said the name of the monomer is butene. The name of the monomer is butene. Draw the structure of the monomer. To draw the structure of the monomer, we will look at one repeating unit. One repeating unit looks like this. This is what a repeating unit looks like. And so to draw the structure of the monomer, we'll just get rid of those bonds there, and then we put a double bond there like that. We put a double bond there like that. And so this is the structure of the monomer. This and nothing else. Meaning that you are joining many guys that look like this to form something that looks like that. Take note, if you were to draw the structure of the monomer like this, of course this is butene, we know that, right? But as the monomer in this case, if you give this answer in the exam, then that answer will be wrong. So this is not the structure of the monomer, but instead we consider this structure here as the monomer. Another example of addition polymer, is what we call polyvinyl chloride. All right, polyvinyl chloride, commonly known as PVC. So polyvinyl chloride is another example of PVC. What is the name of the monomer? So polyvinyl chloride. So the name of the monomer is vinyl chloride. Vinyl chloride. If your name is Peter, and then we have the polymer known as polypeter, meaning the name of the monomer is Peter. If we have polymary, the name of the monomer would be Mary. If you are polyjohn, the name of the monomer, John. So, vinyl chloride. What is the structure of vinyl chloride? Okay? So we are joining many of them that look like this to form something that look like this. So this is polyvinyl chloride. Alright? Polyvinyl chloride. So what are the uses of polyvinyl chloride? Uses of polyvinyl chloride